Welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. Today we are going to be making angel hair pasta with bacon and shrimp in a creamy lemon rosemary sauce. Step one is we're making the meat and vegetables that will go in this pasta. First of all, I've got my fry pan here that has a couple of tablespoons of the baking drippings from the bacon and the butter that is melting. Some of the ingredients that we're going to be putting in here is I have large shrimp, which I've removed the tails and I've already deveined. Actually, it came that way. You don't want to spend your time deveining shrimp if you don't want. This is already going to take a little bit of time. Then we have some sliced onions, some garlic, some orange and yellow and red peppers that are going to go in this first part of this recipe. So let's get started. I've already melted the butter. First thing I'm going to put in is some fresh chopped garlic. And this is going to make the shrimp really delicious. So I'm going to add my shrimp that I've already prepared and showed you. This is a pound of large shrimp. And I want to keep this on kind of low until these are cooked nice and beautiful and pink. You don't want to use more than a medium size, but this is going to give it lots of garlicky, yummy flavor. Let me tell you a little bit about how I came up with this recipe. This is my own recipe. Several years ago, I was searching my kitchen for what to make for dinner, and I came up with this idea because I had tried shrimp and bacon in another potato salad that I'll show you later in the summer, one of my summer specialties. I just happened to have some French bacon and shrimp, and I thought I'm going to make something, a pasta dish out of this shrimp and bacon. So I went ahead and just started making it and just coming up with some ideas of other pasta dishes I made before that have peppers and onions in it. So that's how I started doing this. Okay, so what I'm trying to do right now is just on about medium-high heat. I'm stirring this until the shrimp turns nice and bright pink and cooked, and that shouldn't take very long. Okay, the shrimp is starting to get pink, but I'm going to go ahead and add my onion because I want that to turn out nice and tender too with the shrimp. I'm going to add my orange peppers, my yellow peppers, and my red peppers. And the bacon has already been cooked, and I'm going to be adding that last. And the shrimp is just finishing cooking up while I'm making this as well. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit of my pink Himalayan salt and pepper and just a little sprinkle of garlic salt. It already has a lot of nice garlic in it. And this is nice tender peppers and onion and garlic, and I'm going to take this off the heat right now. We're going to wait a few more minutes while I'm making the lemon sauce and the pasta, where we'll add my really amazing sweet petite peas. You don't want the big old peas that are cheapest peas you can find. You want the nice tender sweet peas that you can find in packaged in the store, unless you have fresh ones, which I don't have. But these are tender sweet petite, meaning very small peas. And then we'll be adding our bacon to the mixture at the very end as well, before we put all of the pasta together. The next thing I'm going to be showing you will be our actual creamy lemon rosemary sauce. And this is my pasta pot. Let me just show you my pasta. I'm only putting a half a package, and this is angel hair pasta. So it calls for a half a package, and pretty much I use the other half another time. So we will be putting this in some salted boiling water, and you only want to cook angel hair pasta at the very most 5 minutes, but about 4 minutes for al dente to have perfect pasta. So we'll be making this at the very last minute, the last 4 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you now how to make the creamy lemon rosemary sauce that's going to go in our pasta dish. The creamy lemon rosemary sauce. I've already got in my pan a half a cube of butter. That's 4 tablespoons in my pan, ready to melt right here. And the first thing we do when we make any kind of a sauce is we're making a roux. A roux is flour and butter mixed together, and then you cook it up a little bit, and you can watch me do that right now. I'm going to put it's just all melted, the butter is all melted. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flour. And this is on about medium heat. I'm going to cook this for a minute. You can see what that looks like. Now this is the secret to almost any kind of sauce you have. You want butter and flour mixed together and cook it down just a little bit. Till it's nice and bubbly like that. You know what? And you can make the same type of recipe, make your own Alfredo sauce or anything just by learning how to make your own roux with butter and flour. Okay, that's nice and bubbly. Okay, at this point I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt to this, and also a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic salt as well. Gives you a nice garlic flavor. Mix that together, and then now we're going to be putting in the, which makes a great sauce of any kind, is some chicken broth, and we're going to be putting in 1½ cups of just regular chicken broth. You can see this is my container that I'm using. 1½ cups of this. And I'm going to start mixing this with my wire whisk till it starts to thicken a little bit. This may take a minute or two. Okay, our roux is thickening up. Now we put the chicken broth in here, but it's going to get too thick. So now what we're going to be adding is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Now I know what you're thinking. Cream, yes, it's so delicious. But also 1/2 cup of milk as well. So we're going to let this thicken up again with this other sauce, with the other mixture. And remember, we've already seasoned it with some salt and garlic salt. We don't want to put a lot of pepper in here because it will discolor it a little bit. So that's how we're doing it. Now this is going to thicken up a little bit more, and when it does, then we'll be adding some lemon zest. This is pure lemon zest that my husband got ready for me, because we have access to lots of fresh lemons, which we're really lucky to do here in California. And we'll be also adding some chopped rosemary. Let me show you what it looks like right off the bush. This is what the rosemary looks like, and you can take a piece of rosemary and just strip off the rosemary pieces. Oh, it smells so good. It's such a wonderful herb. And that's how I actually made rosemary lemon sauce, because I had some of this and I thought, I wonder how that will taste in it. And it's amazing. So depending on how strong you want the flavor, I'm just going to put a little bit in there. I call it a 1/2 teaspoon, but I may put a little bit more just because I love the flavor of that. So we're waiting for this. Is starting to thicken up a little bit here. Now, we are going to add and this may kind of curdle a little bit too, but that's what the lemon juice. We've got 4 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, along with a good 1/2 teaspoon of the lemon zest that I just showed you. And this is thickening up very nicely. We're going to add some of this rosemary. And let this simmer just for a little bit on low. This is thickening up nicely, and I'm going to just go ahead and put this on my back burner on low to keep this nice and hot and ready for when we're ready to put the pasta together. And I'm going to bring back my pan that I set aside here. Turn it up a little bit. Now I'm going to heat this up and heat up my bacon. and my peas, my cup of peas. Okay, we're going to mix this up together and just heat this up so that it's nice and warm and ready to go on top of our pasta. Okay, I have boiling pasta over here. And like I said, I'm going to put the timer on for about 4 minutes for angel hair. You can see how angel hair is one of the, they call it angel hair for a reason because it's just very thin and very fluffy and very nice. And I'm going to just go ahead and break this in half and put this into my boiling water. So it'll be a lot easier to serve and eat. I'm going to wait till this comes back to a boil. You don't want to put the lid back on then at this point. And I'm going to add some, probably a teaspoon of salt to this pasta to flavor it, and a little bit of olive oil. I've got my colander ready in the sink where I'll drain the pasta. But meanwhile, I've got my shrimp and bacon and peas and peppers and onions. Oh yum, this is so honestly amazing. My lemon sauce is ready to go too, and I'll show you in a little bit how we're going to put the whole thing together. Well, you can see there's only 3 steps to this wonderful dish. It's a great dish to serve to guests. It's special. My sister says this is one of their favorite recipes in all of my recipe book, and I have 355 recipes in my recipe book that you can get purchased below under Ann Sigurd's cookbook, Everyday Cooking with Ann. Okay, what I'm going to do is, here's our pasta bowl. I'm going to go ahead and put in my angel hair pasta, and on top of that I'm going to add all of our vegetables and meats right on top of that. Such wonderful flavors. Now I'm going to add our creamy rosemary lemon sauce. By the way, I neglected to tell you, it takes an extra tablespoon, not an extra, but a tablespoon of sugar to balance out the lemon flavor in here. So you do need to put a tablespoon of sugar. It's in the recipe below, so you'll see the whole recipe there. I'm going to go ahead and add this on top. And what's so great about this is that it's a little bit soupy at the moment, but it starts melding with the pasta. So I'm going to start mixing this all together, and it will come together. Now, another thing that you can add to this, and I'm going to get it out right now, you want to add some of this Parmesan cheese right here. Probably about a cup of that, and that's about what I have left here. Add that in. And enjoy. This is it. Ready to serve. And it will kind of thicken up a little bit as it cools. And you can serve that on your platter. Enjoy. If you like this video, I would like you to subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. I also want you to try my tortellini pasta salad that has sun-dried tomatoes and artichokes. You're going to love that too.